honorable speakers and participants who joined with us in live as well as who couldn't join but will watch later. Thank you, all of you. Welcome to celebrate the World Environment Day 2023 with us through this webinar on significance of partnership projects of established effective waste management in the country, organized by Asia, Bangladesh. Asia is an international networking organization. Asia Bangladesh has been working in the field of CSR and sustainable development since 2012 in Bangladesh and other countries in Asia. Besides different field of SDGs, Asia has a strong footprint work on waste management, waste workers' well-being, and incorporate waste workers in an inclusive business model for sustainable economy in the country. Following the work mandate, Asia is organizing a webinar to celebrate the World Environment Day 2023 along with other organizations implementing different projects to keep environment safe and balanced. Today, we are honored to have Dr. Mahfuzul Haq, who is one of directors of Asia, Bangladesh. Dr. Mahfuz is a retired secretary of the government of Bangladesh, has been teaching for more than a decade in different public and private universities, taking courses on environment and development, sustainable development, natural resource management, climate change, biodiversity conservation, natural disaster management, and environment impact assessment. During this very occasion, I invite Dr. Mahfuzul Haq to address the opening remarks and also would like to hand over the session to moderate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Fozia, and very good morning to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. And I could see our good friend, Professor Izaz here. How are you, Izaz? Kemon achen bhalo? So nice to see you after a long time. Well, in fact, on behalf of Social Responsibility Asia, I would like to once again welcome you all in today's webinar, which is addressed to integrated management of plastic assortment and contribution towards green economy. So it's basically on plastic waste, management of plastic waste. And Fozia has given a little bit of introduction of the social responsibility Asia. I would like to touch upon in my introductory remarks. I would like to touch upon the objectives of the today's webinar. We are looking at plastic waste pollution, how to manage plastic waste pollution, which is a global issue, and in a thickly populated country like Bangladesh, this is an alarming issue. How to deal with plastic waste, and we are aware that if we consider a growing city like Dhaka, the huge amount of this waste has to be sorted out, has to be disposed of, and there are some statistics that we produce around 475 tons of waste per day, and hardly 15% of this waste treated properly, and the rest simply dumped in the open or burnt. So these are the issues coming up, and within next few years, it will be the whole city will be choked with plastic waste. So that's an alarming issue. So keeping the 5th of June, which is World Environment Day, declared by United Nations Environment Program, UNEP. And the slogan of this year's World Environment Day is Beat Plastic Pollution, very aptly chosen by UNEP. Beat plastic pollution. So keeping that thing in mind, SR Asia Bangladesh and Coca-Cola Foundation. So this joint project came up with this issue of setting up the plant. In fact, the project is on, very much on. So we thought that in line with the slogan of beating plastic pollution, this might be a good opportunity for us to showcase, to celebrate this day while we discuss the launching of this project on plastic pollution, on disposal of the waste. Just very briefly, let me talk about that. What is this project about? In fact, this project undertaken by Coca-Cola Foundation and SR Asia Bangladesh. The purpose is to establish a waste collection and processing enterprise. And in fact, it would help to achieve sustainable development as well as ensuring inclusive economic growth, especially targeting Dhaka South City Corporation. And perhaps it may bring a positive impact for 1.3 million or roughly 1.3 million people in this part of the city. The objectives are obviously to develop efficient waste management system, and it will be a pilot project as such. So if based on the result of this project, it could be replicated elsewhere in the country. So in today's webinar, we have a list of speakers. To start with, we have the Professor Izaz Hussain, and then followed by our country director, SR Asia, Ms. Sumaya Rashid. We have Farhana Mahmood, who is in Asia cluster of CordAid. Then and a series of speakers. I would like to request all of you. You may like to restrict your comments within 6 to 7 minutes or so that we are done within 1 hour or so. So with this brief introduction, I request Sumaya Rashid, who is the country director of SR Asia, to give some rundown of this project. So over to Ms. Sumaya Rashid.
Let me share. Give me some time.
The sound ঠিক আছে, আপনি carry on please.
Okay. Sir, Dr. Izaz was the first speaker of Sukar, I think, or should I start?
Okay. Well, no. Yeah. Well, sorry. I could see Professor Izaz is here. Yes, over to Professor Izaz, who is the professor of BUET, and he would be speaking on. He would be giving some highlights on plastic waste management in Bangladesh. Professor Izaz. Thank you.
Okay, so I should start?
Yes, please.
Okay,
yes,
thank
please.
you. Thank you, Dr. Mahfouz. And it's really, like you said, it's very, very nice to see you after a long time. We both of us live in the same city and haven't bumped into each other for a long time. But that's okay. So it's, again, nice to see you. It's also congratulating SR Asia Bangladesh for organizing this webinar, a very important topic. So let me just start my presentation. I have to to share my screen. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can. We can.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
You may like to make it a little
Yeah.
bigger. Yeah.
I will. I will. I put it in the. I'll put it on here. Okay. So it's okay. Okay. Everybody can see my screen, right? Okay. And you hear me. So I'm going to give a talk on plastic waste in Bangladesh in more of a general term, because 7 minutes is a very short time to talk about such a big topic. But let me see what best I can do. We've all seen and know about situations like this. This picture tells a story about Bangladesh. The 4 pictures have taken in Bangladesh. As you can see, the problems, the waste problems created by the consumption of plastic products. It's really, like Dr. Mahfouz said, it's a really a huge problem, and it's becoming bigger every day. Okay, now let me start with this is a very common thing which is quoted by many people around the world about what plastic pollution is. In 2014, they showed that the ratio between plastic bits of particles in the ocean was 1:5. So 1 part of plastic, 5 parts per fish. What they're saying, if the rate at which we are dumping plastic into the ocean, by 2050, the ratio will become greater than 1:1, which means there will be no more plastic materials or items in the ocean than fishes. Really, really alarming situation. And if you look at globally, what we are doing to plastic, you would see that the situation is really bad. I mean, it's not only Bangladesh, it's all over the world. Globally, only 9% of the plastic waste is recycled, while 22% is mismanaged. This mismanaged item is extremely important because this is the item which leads to real pollution. Eventually, the pollution lands up in the ocean. As you can see, there are 4 items in this management or mismanagement, as we call it. One item is the mismanagement and uncontrolled litter. And then a large portion of plastic waste are landfill. They're sent to the landfill and they're buried. A good portion is also incinerated, and only a small percent is recycled. If you look at the turquoise color right on the right hand side of the graph, you would see how much each country recycles. As you can see in the top, Canada, most of their waste is landfill, which means their landfill is getting filled up with plastic waste. Now, what is happening in Bangladesh? This is a research done a few years back, not very, very far back, by Waste Concern, where they are showing that 39% of the plastic waste in Bangladesh is landfill. And preventing waste plastic from going to the landfill is the key to more waste plastics supplied to the recycling industry. There is a portion which is called, at the bottom, as you can see, leakage and unattended, responsible for all kinds of pollution, land and marine environment. Okay, and only 36% is recycled in Bangladesh. Now, this 36%, when you compare to developed countries, is extremely good. But when you compare to other developing countries, it's really not good, but still good enough in terms of the 22% global average. But the real worrying thing is a leakage, unattended, which is 25% of the plastic waste in Bangladesh goes to the agricultural land, rivers, and eventually they all land up in the ocean. Now, this is a graph of the world mismanaged plastic waste. As you can see, of the top 10 mismanaged plastic waste countries, Bangladesh is number 8. Philippines is the worst. India is second. Malaysia, China, Indonesia, Brazil, Vietnam, and then Bangladesh. Okay. So we are putting a lot of plastic waste into the ocean. This is according to a global study, which is periodically done. Now, Philippines is kind of an island. So you can understand that it's all ocean all around. So if there is littering going on, then a lot of the plastic waste will land up in the ocean. But Bangladesh being in this list is really not very good, because Bangladesh, we do have ocean, but we are also a big portion is inland. So we are probably not managing our plastic waste very well. Now, what can be done? Since there's not much time, let me go straight into the solutions. Now, one of the things which is called the material recycle facility. Unfortunately, Bangladesh, we have not set up a single recycle facility. These tend to be very technology driven and expensive in developed countries. But in developing countries, like this is one which shown in India, they have developed low-tech manual MRF in Pune, India. As you can see, in a conveyor belt, the waste is being dumped and it's being sorted, and the plastic is being pulled out manually. Now, this kind of MRFs can be easily set up in our transfer stations or in some other common facilities. If this is set up, then a huge amount of plastic waste can be collected and processed. Right now, we are sending all of it to the landfill. So this is a good way of ensuring some kind of circularity in our plastic waste management. So what are the options with this? Once you collect this plastic waste, they tend to be very dirty. So it's really not always very useful to recycle this, or it's not very easy to recycle it because you may have to clean it. But the other thing is that once you've collected this plastic, you can convert it to what is called a refuse-derived fuel. Okay. In solid waste, municipal solid waste, there is paper and paper product, rags, and the soil plastic waste. These all can be processed very easily and compressed into pellets, which can be used as fuel. So instead of sending the plastic waste to a landfill, we can convert it to a refuse-derived fuel. This will not only take care of the waste, it will also give us a fuel. As you know that we are running very short of primary fuel in Bangladesh. The other thing is pyrolysis. A lot of you have heard that in Bangladesh, in many places, people are setting up these small pyrolysis plants where they're taking waste plastics and converting it to oil. Now, again, if we can set up MRF or collect waste plastics, soil even in some way, we can convert it to oil. Again, we prevent the plastic from going to the landfill and we get a good product which can be used as a fuel. Now, in India, they're using waste plastics, soil waste plastics for roads. Now, this is another option for using dirty plastics. Now, the best is, of course, if you can ensure segregation at home. If you can segregate the plastics and keep it clean, then those can be recycled. But remember, we are only recycling 36% of the total waste plastic. The rest is either mismanaged or landfill. If we want to increase the amount of plastic we recycle, we have to ensure source segregation right from home or where it is created. So we need investments in Bangladesh in MRF, RDF, pyrolysis, and bitumen substitute. Use plastic waste in conjunction with bitumen. How am I doing? How many minutes do I have?
Well, you may like to take a couple more.
Okay.
Two more minutes.
Two more, that's fine. Okay. So what are the recommendations for the recycling industry? So eventually, if we can improve the recycling, expand the recycling industry, we have a good solution, because recycling is better than what converting it to a fuel, because recycling means the material is used over and over again. But we need to increase the supply of recycled resin. So we need to study the whole value chain and see how the supply of recycled resins can be increased. Improving production efficiency of the plastic recycling sector through targeted training of the workforce, and formalization of the informal recycled plastic sector through direct, indirect benefits incentives, ensuring quality of recycled plastic resins and products through policy level intervention, and support the market for recycled plastic through policy intervention. Now, let me say one thing about the plastic recycling industry in Bangladesh. It's a very crude type of a recycling industry. Mechanical recycling they do. All they do is take the plastic, cut it into bits, heat it a bit, and then extrude it and produce new resins. In this process, because they use inferior quality machine, a lot of the plastics get degraded, which means that this plastic recycling cannot continue for more than 2 or 3 times. In the best possible situation, if you do good recycling, you can recycle it 5 to 6 times. So in Bangladesh, we need to increase the quality of our recycling, because we are doing 36% recycling, but not at a very good level. Now, new large companies like RFL, they have come up with good recycling facilities, but most of it is still recycled in informal small factories. So what about sustainable waste plastic management? So steps need to be taken to reduce mismanaged plastic. I've talked about it. Some single-use plastics, especially those that tend to get mismanaged, and those that have replacement, need to be phased out. Now, single-use plastics is really a big problem. We know that we use all these plastic cups for coffee, tea. We use straws. In many countries in the world now, these are being banned, mainly because, like for straws, there is a substitute. You can use paper straws. And many other packagings are also being banned, but you can't ban every plastic, because let's say your biscuits, they have to be packaged in some way. So we have to manage. The packaging laws need to be updated so as to encourage only those packaging that can be recycled easily. Nowadays, the tendency of multi-layer packaging. Multi-layer packaging means these packagings have several layers of plastics, metal, and other items. Now, these can't be recycled. So laws have to be brought in. So only those packaging which can be recycled should be allowed. Then encourage alternate natural products that can replace plastics, including biodegradable plastics. We have not been able to start biodegradable plastics in Bangladesh in a big way. We heard about the Sonali bag, but nothing much has happened. So we need to bring this forward. Also, like use jute bags and other such items should be encouraged. And pass laws to prevent plastic waste from being landfilled. If the Department of Environment constitutes a law that no plastics can be sent to the landfill, this will put a pressure on the municipal corporations and city corporations to rectify their waste management so that plastic waste does not go into landfills. Thank you very much. I hope I've been able to stick to the time.
Thanks so much, Professor Izaz. And as always, you're very brief but very specific comments you did make on, disposal of plastic waste, especially low-tech technology, which is very important for a country like Bangladesh. And the important thing you mentioned that, the only 36%, but the rest, they're
recycled. Yes.
Yes, exactly. 36% recycled properly, but the rest are, thrown here and there, especially landfill. So you also gave some of the models, and through the discussion we might be able to come up, and especially and you rightly mentioned about the SUP, single-use plastics, very alarming, which is going to the sea everywhere. Even it said that it's going to the mother's milk. I don't know. There are a lot of issues that are coming up. In any case, well, with this very brief note by Professor Izaz, and let us come to Sumaya Rashid, who is the country director of Essar Asia. She would be discussing about the plant, this pilot project being established here with the Coca-Cola Foundation. So over to Sumaya.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Am I audible?
Yeah, very much.
Okay,
Go ahead.
thank you. So, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Dr. Mahfuzul Haq, for giving me this opportunity to showcase our project, which is a joint initiative of the Coca-Cola Foundation and SR Asia Bangladesh. So, SR, social responsibility. So, SR Asia believes in sustainability and impact of every action. So, we believe that free feeding that can bring any impact at the end of the day. If there is needed impact, we need to design project in a business model. So I should mention some names who actually contributed to this project. A good friend of mine, Mr. Mahabul Islam from a development sector, brought this concept to me. Okay, then the challenge is implementation, and which is really very struggling and tiring job for us. We are fortunate, alhamdulillah, that we got the support from Tanvir Hossain, who is from ACE. ACE is the ACE is a NGO, non-government organization, and in collaboration with ACE, we could manage to reach our target together. So the project impact in 2022 was a pilot project, and after completion of the pilot, we achieved some good progress and output, which I will share with you. You see this photo. This photo, you see the machine setup and other things. So this photo is the plant which was designed for the waste workers, and there are total 300 waste workers who are the owners of the plant now. And this plant, this plant established in July 2020 and started its production in August. And the production capacity is per month 60 ton of flakes and 160 ton of complex plastic, PET plastic. And the capacity of this plant is 4,704. Why this? So in the beginning, it was actually very difficult for us to organize, motivate, negotiate with the.
যে আমাকে বলো কাঁচা আম আছে কাঁচা আম না খাবো
Okay, so it was really what I was just interrupted. However, so in the very beginning, it was very difficult for us to organize, motivate, and negotiate with the waste workers to involve them in this model. But at later stage, we could make them understand their interest through this project. The project organized 300 waste workers and Bangarialas from Dhaka South City Corporation. These workers collect PET plastic. I am telling you the model, how the project would be running. So these workers collect PET plastic from PET plastic and sell to the plant. The photo which you saw to the plant, and we have other 4 collection centers in Dhaka South City Corporation. So these waste workers collect PET plastic from different areas from Dhaka South City Corporations and sell it to the plant and then and also the collection centers. And some of among the waste workers from the 300 waste workers are engaged in PET processing in the plant and also the collection center. So we develop a waste bank system. As per the collection amount, workers receive profit share at the end of the year. So this is how waste workers would be interested to be self-sufficient and also they will own the business. And after that, they will also find that, yes, this is a dignified life, because they are also earning money, not only selling the collected pets, but also at the end, they are also getting profit out of this collected pet. So after processing and packaging, the workers sell the processed pet to the big recyclers or manufacturers. Besides this project, the project also developed capacity of waste workers on occupational health and safety, and entrepreneurship through cooperatives. We also organize medical camps and for medical checkup and other health awareness programs. Okay. So as that is a pilot project, so there is some key information about the project I am sharing with you. So this is the project duration. It is for 12 months, but the project is ambitious, and we are thinking that we will take this project forward to 2023, 24, and 25 also. Depends on the requirement of this project, because of course we have to hand over the cooperative to the cooperative management, the waste workers, and for this time being, Asia is managing this cooperative and all the processing and engaging the waste workers. But the end of the project, we have to hand over this project to the cooperative. And there is one cooperative, and 300 waste workers are actually engaged in this cooperative, and we have collected and recycled. We have 1370 ton. So what is our target for 2023 to 2025? So business target, if you say that now we have 4 collection center, and we are going to increase this to 5 to 6 collection centers, and which is in total 10 collection centers. And in 2023-24, our target is to collect and also some of the and also bring the pet collected pet in recycling process. The amount would be 3,000 ton, and in 24-25 it would be another 3,000 ton pet. So it would be total 6,000 end of this end of 2025 for 2 years. And we have one cooperative, and we are also focusing to bring another cooperative, develop another cooperative, so it would be 2 cooperatives. And we will our social target for the next this year and next year is involving 520 waste workers, and other quarterly health checkup and capacity development, everything will be going on. So I thank everybody who are engaged with this project, who is contributing to this project, and also, of course, the Coca-Cola Foundation and the partner organization. For your any query of this for this project, please keep in touch with us. I am reachable. Thank you very much. Over to Dr. Mahfouz.
Okay, thank you so much, Sumaya, for this for showcasing this recycling factory. Well, we hope that it's coming up well, and sometimes there will be an opportunity for us to visit the factory. It's very important. Yeah. So thank you so much, Sumaya, once again. And now over to Ms. Faraha Mahbub. She's Bangladesh Country Office Asia Cluster of CordAid. So Faraha Mahbub, would you like to share your experience, or some comments on this project? Over to Farah.
I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Yes. So, hello, this is Farah Mahbub. I'm innovation specialist on behalf of CordAid. I'm presenting today. So I'd like to welcome everyone in the presentation of CordAid. We will share some of our experiences working with plastic waste management in Bangladesh. CordAid is an international organization working in 34 countries. In Bangladesh, CordAid is working since 1972. We have 110 staffs working here in Bangladesh in different projects. With more than 1 million population in Dhaka creates around 6,000 tons of waste every day. And analysis shows that 10% of this waste is plastic waste. Another UN report shows that total of global waste, 2.4% is created from Bangladesh, and 86% of it's somehow not managed. And another report shows that in last 15 years, the annual per capita plastic consumption in urban areas in Bangladesh has tripled from 3 kg to 9 kgs. So CordAid is now implementing 2 projects. One is the plastic waste upcycling project with the forcibly displaced Myanmar nations in Rohingya camps in Cox's Bazar, funded by World Food Program. Another project is the Resilient project funded by Coca-Cola, recycling for environment by strengthening income and livelihood of entrepreneurs, which is the area is Dhaka and Narayanganj City Corporation. First, we will just highlight the project we funded by WFP, the upcycling projects. This is one of the kind project where WFP in the world, in the whole world, where WFP is trying to manage their own created waste. The nutrition packages that are distributed in the camps by WFP, we work to manage those, upcycle those aluminum foil packages. So one of the objectives is to reduce environmental degradation, and another objective of this project is to income and give an additional income to the FGMN community and give them some skill through upcycling process and production. This opportunity female-headed household, child-headed household, households with limited income, and person with disabilities. 2 centers where in each center 200 participants, Rohingya participants, work in different sections of processing this aluminum foils. So our target this year is to cover 12 deadline, and one Rohingya participant can work 90 days maximum in the camp. So this is sort of the operation where we collect these aluminum foil packages from the camp and we sort them, we cut both ends, wash them and heat press them, and then we get the raw material and we mold and sew them to make the products. These are some of the products that we are making in the camps. We make bags, different type of bags, baskets, dustbins, and currently 30% of the products are distributed in the camps. We take orders from other humanitarian actors who are working in the camps. We also display our products in different upcycle initiatives, fairs in Dhaka and in Cox's Bazar. We have a shop by WFP, AFSL shop, where we sell these products. In last 2 years, we have collected in 2021, the collection was around 300,000, and from those we made 4,000 products. And last year it was around 6,000 collection of the packages, and we made 7,000 projects. This year we are aimed to collect more packages and to reach more beneficiaries through this project. The next is our Resilient project, which is funded by Coca-Cola Foundation, recycling for the environment, strength, income, and livelihoods of entrepreneurs. The objective of this project is to foster economic and social well-being of the waste workers with safe and dignified collection of plastic waste. So we are working in 2 locations. One is Dhaka North and another is the Narayanganj City Corporation. In Dhaka North, we are working in Kanchi, Korail and Badda. In Narayanganj City Corporation, we are working in Jimkhana and Paikpara area. Our targets each month is to collect 50 tons of plastic. This is also a bring back policy by Coca-Cola Foundation, where they are trying to reduce the amount of plastic from the environment as they are creating in the community. The intervention mainly focuses on develop capacity of the waste collectors, provide safety and business acceleration kits to the participants, set up waste collection mechanism, raise awareness on plastic waste management, set up bring back centers, organize collective workshops. We have got immense help from the both city corporations and government officials while working on these projects. Without their immense support, it would not have been possible. So the first outcome actually involves 20 informal waste aggregators, entrepreneurs and associations who have improved their business model and capacity to process plastic. That actually helped them to improve their plastic operation, enable them access to finance, and increase their process of capacitate more waste that have increased their income. And lastly, they have through our trainings, they are transitioning to green business or becoming green entrepreneurs. The another outcome focuses on 400 waste collectors who have improved knowledge and capacities on business skills, health and safety and security that help them to reduce their injury, improve awareness, increase their collection volume that help to increase their income and raise their social status. Actually, they have their socioeconomic status have changed. We have today with us also Mr. Ashit Brahman from Narayanganj City Corporation. We would like to thank them for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Farah Mahbub, for throwing some lights on the upscaling of plastic plants. We have seen something very new, especially with the Rohingya community. And then you have started with the at Narayanganj and Dhaka. Perhaps the success. We are waiting for the success stories coming up from this place. Thank you so much, Farah, for your insights. Now we have Shohana Mahajabin Dapti. She is the program specialist of program development, data insights and learning of BRAC UDP. May I request you all to kindly restrict your comments within 6 to 7 minutes, please. So over to Shohana Mahajabin. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
I can see you. Yes, go ahead, please.
So let me share my screen first. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. So let me just first start with a brief introduction of what BRAC has been doing for quite some time on waste workers. So we have since 2016 we have been working in urban low-income communities, and our main focus has been to deal with the multidimensional poverty that they have been facing. And we basically work in a model that works through building community-based organizations and as well as urban occupation groups. So we work with these organizations or platforms, and we identified what their problems are and then come up with a solution. And as part of that, we have long been working with the waste workers, particularly in 20 cities and municipalities. So far, our work around West workers has been to provide them with different financial and technical services to boost their livelihood that they are already in. And at the same time, we have also been working with different municipalities through providing them with different logistic support as well as capacity building support in terms of waste management. So from 2021, our strategy changed a bit, and we have started shifting our focus on urban resilience. And as part of that, one of our main area of work would be working on plastic waste management. So we have just started working, and we plan to actually work on primarily 3 areas. One is developing a database of different waste workers, and as well as granular level data on waste management that would help city corporation in their planning or municipalities. That's one area of focus we are planning to have. The second one would be developing a model for livelihood, particularly focusing on waste workers. You know that BRAC has long been working with a model, graduation model, which is highly accepted around the world. And right now we are working on building a model in terms of graduate, what would work, particularly for waste workers in cities where the waste is generated the most, as well as in small municipalities where there is still a lot of scope to work. And the third would be working on behavioral change intervention. And this is something that we are looking at for the long term, because behavioral changes intervention is a thing which will bring results overnight. So we are working with different consultants and trying to find out what would work best in terms of waste management, in terms of waste disposal practices of the citizens and of the waste generators. Also in terms of waste segregation, what would work. So that's actually an overview that I have been providing. Other than that, we actually partnered with the Coca-Cola Foundation in 2021, where which was a project which just came in the context of COVID-19. So we do have a very strong background in terms of community mobilization, and we thought this as an opportunity to reach out to them, provide a number of services to address the COVID-19, and at the same time, we also wanted to build a database where we would give an idea of how the COVID-19 is actually having an impact on them. So we, in collaboration with Coca-Cola, we started working in Dhaka first, because Dhaka is one of the areas that was worst hit by the COVID-19. And we have also been working on planning to work with them for quite a long time. So our idea was, as everyone knows, that they work with different types of health risks, low income, and social inclusion. In fact, they're a community which is included within the low-income communities, and our experience is even the people who have low income exclude them when it comes to social gathering and other sorts of things. And there are examples that they have given, children of the waste workers have even been bullied. So there is a need to work on working on a dignified life for the waste workers. And the type of support receiving from the government and NGO work is quite inadequate and still is. That's why we're all working there. And there is no database that on the waste workers, their demography or their socioeconomic status. So in that context, we started working on, particularly, first one was working on increasing awareness and access to different types of services, particularly focusing on their healthy living. And we also wanted to develop a knowledge hub on waste management matters. So we worked in 13 slums in Dhaka, northern Dhaka South. And we currently have database of 3,500 waste workers. And to work with this, to provide different services, we developed 5 community centers in different slums that covers the 13 slums. So in terms of what types of interventions we had in that project, we do have a Westport Villages database that we are updating now, and this is helping us in terms of project design and implementation. We raised awareness on different health and safety, health, nutrition, and safety issues. We covered a number of 400 waste workers. And we also provided awareness session on health and sanitation for children. I mean, the main idea was that the children at that time was dropping out of school. So whether there was any way that we could provide them with numerous literacy training for that period. Because we couldn't gather them because of the restriction that we had on gathering we had there. We couldn't implement that. And working online didn't work. Teaching them online didn't work. So we had to change our modality, and instead we provided awareness session to different health and nutrition services. And we also made 8 wash blocks in those 13 slums, and we also provided waste vendors with financial literacy and linked them up with the microfinance team. So as you already know that the project actually had different types of data, like the database we have 46% are women. We have data on their age. We have data on their health-seeking behavior. Also, we do have data where we can draw insights on their financial habits. And at the same time, we also have collected data on plastic collection, and as well as how much they're selling the market price and such other variables. These are the key outputs that we have from that one year project. So we actually reached more than 2,500 people through our health gaps. We provided awareness raising sessions to 400 West workers and also 400 West workers children. And 715 people can now access the wash blocks that we built. And 4 West vendors received financial literacy training, and we linked them up with our microfinance team. And they're currently, those who are eligible are currently working with them to identify whether they can receive those different types of services that microfinance team offers. So these are actually some of the case studies that we identified during that project period. And pretty soon we are actually working on a number of projects, and maybe next year we will have more and exciting projects to share with people. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sohana, for this insights on BRAC, the activities as you are working in the 13 slums with 3,500 West workers. So this is something to look forward to. Pretty sure that we'll be able to know more on the how you're trying to improve the livelihood of the West worker in this informal sector. This is extremely important, and good number of other agencies are also working with the livelihood of the dignity of the West workers. So this is important as we are looking at the West management. So thank you so much once again, Sohana Mahzevin, Deputy of BRAC. Now, can we come to the next presenter is Mr. Ibrahim Ridwan. He's a consultant of Ernest & Young, Bangladesh. Ibrahim, are you there? Yes, I could see you there. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Good warm morning to everyone. Thank you, Dr. Mahfouz, for moderating the session. I can see many known faces, Dr. Izaz, Mr. Asit, Sumit. So thank you all for joining in for today's session. So without any further ado, I'll get into my presentation. Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, very much. Go ahead.
All right. I'll just give a quick intro first regarding Ernst & Young. So Ernst & Young is a global leader in assurance, tax, strategy, transaction, and consulting services. Worldwide, we have more than 300,000 people working in 700 offices in 150 countries in one unwavering commitment to build a better working world. We are serving to more than 70% of the Fortune 500 companies with a revenue of over $45 billion in 2022. In Bangladesh, we have an operation of 130 plus people, and our office is located in the Gulshan Avenue, 128 Gulshan Avenue. If you're talking about the kind of work we are doing, Ernst & Young in the waste management sector, so we're providing services across all waste management processes when it comes to regulatory, financial sustainability, technological focus or technological intervention, social inclusion, resource efficiency, citizen engagement, monitoring. So we provide services across all these verticals when it comes to waste management. And also we provide services across different types of waste, when it municipal solid waste or maybe C&D waste, plastic waste, e-waste, and any types of hazardous waste. So for this project, I was asked to share some of the recent experiences that we did. So we'd like to share about one experience that we recently did with Unilever and UNDP in Narayanganj. So there are two phases of this project. On one small pilot that we did in Dhaka South City Corporation, and later on the project got rolled out in Narayanganj. So for Unilever and UNDP, the goal for this project is to promote circular economy in plastic waste management in Narayanganj City Corporation with a focus on segregation and collection in the plastic waste ecosystem. And where we as EY, we came in to do behavioral change communication and to raise awareness among the people in Dhaka South City Corporation and Narayanganj City Corporation. So our role was mainly in the behavioral change aspect. So the project title was to develop and roll out plastic waste management awareness campaign for both citizens and waste pickers of the communities in Dhaka South City Corporation and Narayanganj City Corporation. So we had a target in Dhaka South City Corporation. In the pilot phase, we had a target population of 5,000 people, and in Narayanganj City Corporation, we targeted 1 million people. So these communication campaigns we targeted through individual campaign with direct outreach, let's say direct training to the identified stakeholders. So whether it comes to city corporation staffs or the ward offices or the waste pickers. And also we had a broader outreach or mass media communication. So this is the kind of framework for this communication model. So I'll skip through due to constraint of time. This is some value chain map. So I'll just quickly come through the project itself. So before we did the campaign in Narayanganj, we did a pre-campaign survey where we identified the gaps. So in the pre-campaign survey, we tried to analyze the gaps in knowledge, in attitude, in behavior of the citizens in Narayanganj. And based on these pre-campaign survey, we came up with how the communication strategy will look like, what would be the main target audiences, what will be the key messages, and what are these messages on. So we deep dive into this, and we try to identify all these core messages and the campaign framework. So we identified the key messages, 3 key messages for the plastic waste. Number 1 is clean your plastic. Number 2 is give plastic waste to waste picker, and number 3 is plastic waste as a better value. So these 3 messages were in alignment with the project that Unilever and UNDP was doing in Narayanganj, because they were doing some decentralized collection centers. So our communication were in alignment in this project to support these project interventions. So for the mediums, we use social media, short films, training of the stakeholders. We did miking, sermon, and wallards, and also we had a very interesting partnership model with Food Kantha, which I'll be disclosing shortly. So we'll be talking about the activities that we perform in Narayanganj. So to begin with, we developed the training modules for the waste pickers. With the training modules has a specific focus on the social entitlement aspect. We taught them on the plastic waste management, the value it has, that plastic is a value, right? Because most of these waste pickers, they didn't have the know-how or maybe the value that plastic is. That's why maybe in our pre-campaign survey, we found out that these they are many times they're unfairly treated by the scrap dealers. So we wanted to give them an introduction of the value of the plastic waste. We taught them on the capacity building, especially with a focus on the communication, because these waste pickers are the main bridge between the households and the municipality, right? So we tried to give them some training on how they can improve the communication skills with the households. Also, in addition to that, we did give them training on health and safety and some of the success stories. So these are some of the snippets you can see from the training we did in Narayanganj. So with Foodpanda, as I mentioned, we partnered up with Foodpanda. So apparently after Dhaka, Foodpanda has the second largest customer base in Narayanganj. So we identified that and we used this platform for some digital intervention. So for Foodpanda model, we use push notifications through the app. And also we gave extensive training to the Foodpanda staffs in Narayanganj. So where these Foodpanda staffs later on, they conveyed or disseminated this message to the households and to the restaurants. So here you can see some of these pictures from this Foodpanda intervention model. Also, we provided training to the CDC, the Community Development Committee of Narayanganj City Corporation. So they are given training on plastic waste through TOT model. So we gave training to 70 community leaders, specifically women, on how they can form a collaborative model for this waste, and they can form a self-help group to benefit from this model. Also, we work closely with the religious leaders. We identified the religious leaders as one of the key stakeholders who can influence people. So we also work with the religious leaders in Narayanganj. We also extensively did some miking activities in the areas. Almost we targeted around 1.5 lakhs people in Narayanganj. So these are some of.
Ridwan, can you please wind up? Yeah,
sure.
Please.
So these are some of the social media collaterals that we developed. That's all from my end.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have been listening to Mr. Ibrahim Ridwan, who is a consultant of Ernest and Young Bangladesh. Especially, there are some new issues are coming up, and we could see that with Foodpanda, you have got some joint project, and you did undertake some communication campaigns, some training, and segregation, especially segregation issues. So we wish you good luck, Mr. Ibrahim Ridwan, in the activities and the projects of Ernest & Young Bangladesh. Now, I would like to come to Mr. Tahmid Hussain, who is the technical specialist of Practical Action Bangladesh. Yes, I could see Tahmid. Tahmid, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. This is Tahmid Hussain from Practical Action. But so this I'm directly going to my presentation. Okay. Sir, can you see my window?
Yes, we can. We can.
Thank you, sir. So I'm directly going to my presentation now. Already, Ijaz sir has provided some information on the global use of plastic and the use of plastic waste in Bangladesh. So I'm just giving some information specifically. As you can see, there are some specific figures on the uses of plastic in the global region. So most of the plastic are mainly going the discarded plastic, the single-use plastic, and the LDP, you can say, the low-density polyethylene plastic, they're going to the ocean and the marine areas. So that's kind of polluting our marine and ocean life. So in context of Bangladesh, we can see there are some specific figures. The use of plastic that was 9.2 million metric ton in 2005, but it's now around 22.25 metric tons, million metric tons in 2020. That's kind of a threefold of the use of the plastic waste in Bangladesh. And for the packaging purposes, the increase of the plastic bag, the use of the plastic bags and the polythene, though there are some kind of laws surrounding the plastic polythene, but in the existing situation of Bangladesh is this kind of that law is kind of not followed accordingly. And for the 9,700 tons of plastic that consumed in 2020, only the 31% plastic was recycled, and mostly the discarded part of the plastic waste that in Bangladesh is again the plastic polythene, the single-use plastic that we throw away in our environment, in our drain, in our roadside area, as there is no existing plastic value, plastic business value for the single-use plastic. The waste and sanitation worker do not find itself profitable for them to sell, to collect that plastic waste and to sell them again to the recyclers or the buyers or the smaller medium entrepreneurs who are engaged in the small scale plastic recycling business. In the context of Bangladesh, there existing PET plastic business and the PP plastic business, but for the single-use plastics, there is nothing. So I'm just going through my organization. That's where I'm working right now. The Practical Action. Practical Action has been working in Bangladesh since 1990s. Our headquarters is in United Kingdom. We usually followed, we have some 4 change ambition under the Cities Fit for People change ambition. We usually follow some approach that engage our local government divisions or LGD or municipalities, you can say, that engage our local cooperatives and the local NGOs to create a sustainable environment for the cities and for their citizens. That's what Practical Action is doing right now. That is the example of Faridpur City Corporation. We are now going forward with the recycling of the single-use plastic that we have. We are now engaging. We have engaged 8 cooperatives dedicatedly for the waste and sanitation, dedicated by the waste and sanitation worker, and led by, among the 8 cooperatives, there are 3 women-led cooperatives. They are the mainly waste and sanitation, the waste workers cooperatives mainly. Who are engaged in collecting the single-use plastic, that you can say the straws, polythene, poly bags, the wrapper that we use for food wrapping purposes. They collect and they kind of, we have developed a business plan for them to sell them to our small and medium entrepreneurs who will give the plastic to the to our plant for the recycling purpose. We have a plan to recycle the single-use plastic and to get pyrolysis oil and carbon ash throughout the recycling process. The main objective and the objective of this project is to dignify the life of the waste and sanitation workers that we always try to follow through our different projects, and create new jobs and improve the waste workers' income, waste worker incomes, that reduce the loads of plastic pollution from the environment. And always we try to engage a PPP-led business model where the municipality, the local NGOs, the local cooperatives are always be involved in the process. So it's kind of a project flow diagram that we are following right now. For the household, we will be collecting the waste, the segregated waste that's kind of absent in our current practice right now in the local level municipality. So we will be focusing on that thing. We'll be collecting the plastic waste and plastic waste, then it will go to our pre-processing unit. After the following several steps, that will be transferred to the pyrolysis oil to get the pyrolysis oil and the carbon black. We have already developed some awareness raising program. There's a cycle rally in the Faridpur municipality. There's our colleagues from Practical Action. They went to some settlement areas to introduce them with the household waste segregation. So our young volunteers from the Faridpur municipality, they are also engaged with us, and we have already developed some awareness raising program with the school going children in Faridpur municipalities. But we have developed something that like for the people of the citizens of the municipality. But we have also some plans for the waste and sanitation workers. Just now you can the slide I am presenting, that is the social security scheme for the waste and sanitation workers. This existing now we have through different projects we have developed 56 cooperatives in 13 cities. But among them, 26 cooperatives are entitled under the social security scheme, and the 6 members received insurance claim amount due to the accidental death till right now. And this social security scheme is dedicatedly for the waste and sanitation workers and their family. We have also developed some training modules throughout our project and with the help of our donor funding. And we have taken the technical support from the Bangladesh Technical Education Board, BTEB, to develop these waste and sanitation workers training modules for the waste and sanitation worker cooperatives. So that's all from my end with my presentation. Thank you from my side.
Oh, thank you so much, Tahmid. In fact, I could remember Tahmid was very helpful at Practical Action Bangladesh, drawing all sort of beautiful pictures. Thank you, Tahmid, for your kind help time to time. Now, Tahmid did mention some of the activities undertaken by the Practical Action Bangladesh, especially with the SUP, with the LDPE, and some point of time, we'd be following some of these pilot activities at Practical Action. Now, I have a message from Coca-Cola Foundation from Rajesh Ayapilla. I have a message from Rajesh Ayapilla, who is the Sustainability Director, India and Southwest Asia, Coca-Cola Company. Let me read out the message. Good morning, everyone. I am Rajesh Ayapilla from the Sustainability Function of Coca-Cola India and Southwest Asia. I regret for not able to attend this webinar in person, and I'm sharing a short message with you all on behalf of the Sustainable Function at Coca-Cola. Before that, I would like to thank and congratulate Essar Asia for hosting this webinar on the momentous occasion of World Environment Day. I would also like to thank the other partners for attending this webinar and sharing the key learnings from their projects on ground. At the Coca-Cola Company, we are working towards a world without waste. Being guided by this principle, we continuously seek innovative solutions to contribute to a stronger, more eco-friendly society. By 2025, our goal is to make 100% of our packaging recyclable, and by 2030, we aspire to incorporate at least 50% recycled content into our packaging. We are expanding the use of recycled materials in our packaging, making refillable bottles more widely available and implementing effective collection methods. We work with partners across business, government, and civil society to create or support closed-loop systems that ensure our packages are collected and recycled or reused. By preserving the economic value of our packaging and fostering circularity, we aim to minimize waste and carbon emissions. We remain committed to sustainable packaging practices, including the redesign of lightweight packaging, maximizing the use of recycled content, and introducing innovative packaging solutions. We understand that plastic waste management requires community-led efforts, and we are actively collaborating with our partners to develop sustainable programs for integrated plastic waste management and efficient recycling in India and Southwest Asia. Thank you for your support and cooperation, for the great partnership and collaboration in implementing the sustainable models of circular economy. Well, that was the message from Mr. Rajesh Ayapilla, who is the Sustainability Director, India and Southwest Asia of the Coca-Cola company. With that, now let me go to our partner in the Department of Environment, Mr. M. Jiaul Haq, who is the Director of the Department of Environment, and DOE has been running this, a number of projects related to this pollution, municipal waste pollution, plastic pollution, and so on and so forth. So over to Jia, and if I may remind that please try to restrict your comments within 6 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes, please. Thank you so much. Over to Jia.
Thank you, sir, to Dr. Mahfouz, sir, and good afternoon, colleagues. At the outset, let me congratulate SR Asia for organizing this important event on the eve of World Environment Day. And I also congratulate the presenters, including Professor Ijaz sir, for their brilliant presentations. And I should name some of them. HR Asia Country Director Sumayya Rashid Appa, she has been very instrumental in taking this issue forward. And there are a number of presentations: Farah from CordAid, Sohana from BRAC, Ibrahim from EY, Tahmid from Practical Action, and they have been doing a fantastic job in terms of addressing plastic pollution in a holistic manner. I will be very brief, sir. In fact, I feel that since this World Environment Day theme is on solution to plastic pollution, and slogan is also beat the plastic pollution, so we understand that the plastic issues, the plastic pollution issues have become a great concern at national and international level. And nowadays it got a prominence in national and international agenda. And you might have been informed that now there has been negotiations going on to draft an international treaty on plastic pollution. So Bangladesh is also in the process of drafting the international treaty on plastic pollution. Now INC is going on, Intergovernmental Negotiating Committee. We are one of the members of the INC. So we understand that the plastic pollution is very important to address at national and international level. And I feel that in terms of policy, strategy, the laws and guidelines, they are already put in place at national level. And I would actually touch upon one issue that the Bangladesh government has already prepared a 10-year multi-sectoral action plan for sustainable plastic management. And in this action plan, the government has actually put some specific target to achieve. For instance, by 2030, 50% of the virgin material consumption will be reduced by 2030. 90% of the single-use plastics will be phased out by 2026. Very ambitious target. 90% of the plastic recycling, 50% of the plastic recycling will happen by 2025. So, and there are 30%. There are another target: 30% reduction of generational plastic waste by 2030. So, 30% of reduction of generational plastic waste. This is a huge target that government has already set under their 10-year action plan, and we have very good Bangladesh solid waste management rules. It has been provided, it has been promulgated in 2021, and we try to capture all modern concept of plastic management practices, waste management practices in this law, starting from waste generation to final waste disposal. So I feel that there are number of tools, instruments we are at hands. So it is high time to implement those rules, strategies, guidelines in a synergistic fashion, in a coherent synergistic fashion. And we have to acknowledge and appreciate the activities and the functions that have been going on by the partners, by national GOs, INGOs. For instance, the Coca-Cola Foundation, SR Asia, the other institutions, they are doing very good job. So we have to encourage them on the part of Ministry of Environment and Department of Environment. And I feel that in the rules, we try to put all modern concepts, like I have said earlier, composting, biogas generation, refuse-derived fuel, solid recovered fuel, and other electricity generation, all are in the rules. And we have pinpointed the responsibility and functions of each and every institutions, local government institutions and other related institutions, right from the household to the municipality to the landfill site. And I feel that it is a concerted effort that we need to carry forward in the future. And I feel that since government is putting greater emphasis on plastic waste management nowadays, we are now trying to apply EPR through the rules, extended producer responsibility. So the Unilever, UNDP, and other colleagues are working on setting a piloting an instance under the Narragansett City Corporation. So we are waiting for having their outcomes, how the EPR policy can be implemented on the ground. So this is time to work together to carry forward our activities in the future that we have started now. And at the same time, I also request you to try to participate in the very good seminars will take place on 6, 7, and 8 in the DUE on the occasion of World Environment Day. So we have actually there are multiple organizations organizing jointly the event on plastic pollution and other related issues on 6 June, 7 June, and 8 June in the DOE auditorium. So I cordially invite all of you to join and to participate in the discussions. And I fully support the idea that has been presented by the distinguished presenters. And I also feel that as we move along the process, we will work together in terms of achieving the target that we already set under a 10-year action plan, as well as the rules that we have promulgated in 2021. Thank you, sir, for your kind passion sharing. And I also congratulate SR Asia again for having me in this important event and giving me the opportunity to speak in this August gathering. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Jia. In fact, so long we were listening to Mr. Jiaul Haq, who is the director of the Department of Environment, and Jia has a checkered career in this issue of environment and development for last 20 years or so, and he described the rules, strategies, guidelines, especially related to international treaty coming up very soon. So I wish you good luck, Jia. And if you would like to share your invitation for the 6th and 7th and 8th of June, the program you're going to have at the Department of Environment, please share your invitation to SR Asia, email maybe, and we will be throwing that in our network, please.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Jia. Now we are almost nearer to the completion. We have got Mr. Ashit Baran Shah, who is the counselor Ward number 15 and President of the Permanent Waste Management Committee of Narayanganj City Corporation, Mr. Oshit Baran Bishas. Are you there? Mr. Oshit Baran Bishas, আপনি আছেন? Yes, I see you. Please. Go ahead. বলেন। জি, please বলেন।
শুভ দুপুর। আমি বাংলায় বলছি।
জি বলেন।
তো
প্লিজ।
এসআর এশিয়া আয়োজিত আজকের এই ওয়েবিনারের সম্মানিত অতিথিবৃন্দ, বিশেষত ডক্টর মাহফুজুল হক স্যার এবং ডক্টর ইজাজ আহমেদ স্যার। তো আসলে আমি জনপ্রতিনিধি হিসাবে কথাটা বলার চেষ্টা করব। এখানে অনেক টেকনিক্যাল ইনফরমেশন এখানে এসছে, কিন্তু প্র্যাকটিক্যালি আমি আসলে গত 2011 সালে সিটি কর্পোরেশন গঠিত হওয়ার পর থেকে আমার যে সাধারণ অভিজ্ঞতাটা সেটা আমি এখানে শেয়ার করার চেষ্টা করি। তো প্রথমত আমাদের সিটি কর্পোরেশনের আসলে 72.43 কিলোমিটার এলাকা নিয়ে সিটি কর্পোরেশনটা গঠিত, এবং আপনারা জানেন যে গভর্নমেন্টের যে সূচক, সেই সূচকে আমাদের আসলে সিটি কর্পোরেশন হচ্ছে মানে আমাদের জেলা হচ্ছে আসলে ধনী জেলার মধ্যে অন্যতম। তো সেই ক্ষেত্রে এখানে আসলে ইন্ডাস্ট্রিয়াল এবং বিজনেস যে হাব হিসেবে যে গড়ে ওঠার যে জায়গাটা, সেখানে কিন্তু আসলে ন্যাচারালি এই প্লাস্টিক ওয়েস্ট সহ আসলে বিভিন্ন ধরনের ওয়েস্টের কিন্তু আসলে একটা সেন্টারে পরিণত হয়েছে নারায়ণগঞ্জ সিটি কর্পোরেশন। তো 2011 সালে সিটি কর্পোরেশন গঠিত হওয়ার পর থেকে কিন্তু বাস্তবে আমাদের এই ওয়েস্ট ম্যানেজমেন্টের জন্য ল্যান্ডফিল ছাড়া আর কোনো বিকল্প পথ ছিল না। আমরা আমাদের সমস্ত ওয়েস্টগুলি বিভিন্ন জায়গায় ল্যান্ডফিলেই আমরা এগুলিকে মানে আপনার ডিসপোজ করতাম। তো আসলে এই গত 2 বছর আগে আমাদের সিটি কর্পোরেশনের প্রথম কঠিন বর্জ্য ব্যবস্থাপনার ব্যাপারে একটি পরিকল্পনার ভিত্তিতে একটি সুনির্দিষ্ট প্রোগ্রাম নেয়, এবং আপনারা হয়তো জানেন যে এখানে আমাদের প্রায় 350 কোটি টাকা ব্যয় ঝালকুটি এলাকায় আমাদের একটা ওয়েস্ট ম্যানেজমেন্ট প্ল্যান গঠন করা হয়েছে, এবং ওখানে ওয়েস্ট টু এনার্জি এই প্রজেক্টটা ওইটার সাথে যুক্ত। তো আমাদের সিটি কর্পোরেশনে বেসিক্যালি আপনার প্রায় 1000 মেট্রিক টন আপনার ওয়েস্ট তৈরি হয় বিভিন্ন ধরনের, এবং এর মধ্যে ওই আপনার জালকুড়িতে যে প্ল্যান্ট, সেখানে প্রায় 600 টন আমাদের ওয়েস্ট ওখানে দিতে হবে, এবং এটা আমাদের সিটি কর্পোরেশনের জন্য এটা একটা বিরাট অপরচুনিটি। আর এর বাইরে আপনার ওখানে বিশেষ করে মেডিকেল ওয়েস্টের জন্য আমাদের একটা ইনসিনারেশন প্ল্যান্টও ওখানে গঠন করা হয়েছে, এবং ওই প্ল্যান্টের আওতায় আমাদের এখানে প্রায় 250 ওয়েস্ট পিকার এবং প্রায় 53 জন আপনার ভাঙারি বা ওই রিসাইকেলদের সাথে আমাদের একটা আলোচনা হয়েছে, এবং ওইটাকে মিনিমাইজ করার জন্য আমরা একটা পরিকল্পনা গ্রহণ করেছি। এছাড়া আমাদের সিটি কর্পোরেশন আপনারা জানেন যে এই বিশেষ করে সিঙ্গেল ইউজ প্লাস্টিক এবং পেট বোতল এগুলির ব্যাপারে আপনার আমাদের যে আগের অবস্থা ছিল, আপনারা হয়তো জেনে থাকবেন যে আমাদের সিটি কর্পোরেশনের যে আপনার ভিশন মিশন, এখানে কিন্তু আমরা একটা পরিবেশ বান্ধব একটা নগরী গড়ে তোলার পথে ঘোষণা করেছি, এবং তার অংশ হিসেবে আমরা ইতিমধ্যেই আমাদের শহরের মধ্যে প্রায় 3 কিলোমিটার একটি খাল, যেটা এক সময় এটা একটা ওই আপনার প্লাস্টিক গার্বেজ হিসেবে আপনার তৈরি হয়েছিল, সেই খালটিকে আমরা পুনরুদ্ধার করে আমরা প্রায় 200 কোটি টাকা ব্যয়ে ওই খালটিকে আবার সচল করেছি। এখন এখানে যে জিনিসটি সুবিধা হয়েছে সেটা হলো যে ওই খালের ভিতরে আগে যে ওয়েস্ট গুলি আপনার জমা হতো, এখন কিন্তু আমরা হাউস হোল্ড ওয়েস্ট ম্যানেজমেন্টের মধ্যে ওই এলাকাগুলিতে আমাদের অ্যাক্টিভিটিকে বাড়ায় দেওয়ার ফলে ওখানে যে প্লাস্টিক ওয়েস্ট গুলি তৈরি হতো সেটা কিন্তু এখন আমাদের হাউস হোল্ড ওয়েস্টের যে প্র্যাকটিস সেটার মধ্যে কিন্তু আমরা নিয়ে আসতে সক্ষম হয়েছি। তার বাইরে আমরা আমাদের সিটি কর্পোরেশনের মধ্যে প্রায় 26টি খাল আছে, এই খালগুলিও কিন্তু একরকম এই ওয়েস্টের একটা সেন্টার। তো সেগুলিকেও আমরা পুনরুদ্ধার করে এবং আশেপাশের লোকদের মধ্যে অ্যাওয়ারনেস বিল্ড আপের মাধ্যমে আমাদের যে প্লাস্টিক ওয়েস্ট আছে এবং বিশেষ করে এই পেট সহ অন্যান্য যে ওয়েস্ট সেগুলিকে আসলে কিভাবে নিয়ে আসা যায় সেটাকেও আমরা পরিকল্পনা আওতায় নিয়ে এসেছি। আমাদের এখানে অভিজ্ঞতা হলো যেটা যে আমরা আমাদের এই ওয়েস্ট ম্যানেজমেন্টের ক্ষেত্রে একদিকে জিওবি আরেকদিকে আপনার নন এনজিও যে অর্গানাইজেশন গুলি আছে সেই এনজিও গুলি আছে তার মাধ্যমে কিন্তু আমরা মিনিমাইজ করি। এখন এনজিও বেস অর্গানাইজেশন গুলি কিন্তু বেশিরভাগ ক্ষেত্রে অ্যাওয়ারনেস বিল্ড আপ করে। আমার কথা হলো যে এখন এই ধরনের একটি গুরুত্বপূর্ণ ইস্যুতে গতানুগতিক অ্যাওয়ারনেস বিল্ড আপের মধ্য দিয়ে কিন্তু আসলে এই সমস্যার সমাধান সম্ভব না। রিসেন্ট আমার একটা অভিজ্ঞতা হয়েছে, CordAid বাংলাদেশ কোকাকোলা ফাউন্ডেশনের সহায়তা আমাদের এলাকায় একটি প্রজেক্ট তারা নিয়েছিল, রেজিলেন্ট প্রজেক্ট। সেই প্রজেক্টের সাথে আমিও কাজ করার সুযোগ পেয়েছি, আমি কাজ করেছি, আমার ওয়ার্ডের ভিতরে এই কাজ হয়েছে। ওখানে আমি দেখেছি যে ইনোভেটিভ ওয়েতে যদি এই বিষয়গুলিকে নিয়ে যাওয়া যায় তাহলে খুব স্বল্প সময়ের ভিতরে কিন্তু মানুষের মধ্যে এক ধরনের সাড়া ফেলা যায় এবং সেটাকে একটা লক্ষ্যের দিকে নিয়ে যাওয়া সম্ভব হয়। তো এখানে আমার মনে হচ্ছে যে আসলে এনজিও বেস যে অ্যাক্টিভিটি সেখানে আসলে অনেক বেশি ক্রিয়েটিভ হওয়া দরকার। আর এখানে এনজিও গুলি যেহেতু একটা মানে শর্ট টার্ম কাজ করে, পরবর্তী পর্যায়ে ওনারশিপের যে প্রশ্নটা, এই যে বারবার আমরা এই বিষয়ে কাজ করছি, এই কাজ করার ক্ষেত্রে কিন্তু ওনারশিপটা শেষ পর্যন্ত যেই প্রতিষ্ঠানের হওয়া দরকার, বিশেষ করে সিটি কর্পোরেশন বা পৌরসভা, সেই ওনারশিপের ক্ষেত্রে কিন্তু আমার কাছে মনে হচ্ছে একটা বিরাট ঘাটতি। তো এখানে এই বিষয়টিকে যদি আপনার মিনিমাইজ করতে হয়, ওয়েস্ট ম্যানেজমেন্টটাকে যদি একটা কার্যকর জায়গায় নিয়ে যেতে হয়, তাহলে কিন্তু এই নন গভর্নমেন্ট অর্গানাইজেশন এবং গভর্নমেন্ট অর্গানাইজেশন যেগুলি আছে এগুলোর ভিতরে সমন্বয় থাকা দরকার, এবং একটা পাইলটিং প্রজেক্টকে পরবর্তী পর্যায়ে ওই ওনারশিপের যে জায়গাটা, সেটা আমার মনে খুব বেশি খেয়াল করা দরকার। তো আমার মনে হয় যে এই জায়গায় আজকের যে আয়োজন, সেটা আমি মনে করি যে এই পরিবেশ দিবসে দাঁড়িয়ে আমরা যে এই জায়গায় এসেছি, আপনারা সবাই আমরা উপলব্ধি করছি গত 5-6 দিনের যে উত্তাপ আমরা যেভাবে দেখছি, আমাদের কিন্তু একেবারে জীবন দুর্বিষহ হয়ে উঠছে। আমাদের যে লেক এবং আপনার এই খাল, এর পাশে এখন মানুষের আবাসস্থল হয়ে গেছে। রাত্র 3টা-4টা পর্যন্ত মানুষ এখন বাড়িঘর ছেড়ে ওই খালের এবং লেকের পাড়ে বসবাস করা শুরু করে দিয়েছে। তো এই জায়গা থেকে যদি আমাদের পরিত্রাণ পেতে হয়, তাহলে অবশ্যই এই পলিথিন সহ বিভিন্ন ধরনের যে ওয়েস্ট, সেগুলিকে যদি প্রপারলি মিনিমাইজ করতে পারি, তাহলে কিন্তু আমরা আসলে সত্যিকার অর্থে আমাদের এই উদযাপনটা সফল হবে বলে মনে করি। ধন্যবাদ।
Thank you so much, Mr. Ashit Baran Bishar, who is the councillor, ward number 15, and he is the president of the Permanent Waste Management Committee, Narayanganj City. আপনি চমৎকার বলেছেন, সিটি কর্পোরেশনের নারায়ণগঞ্জ সিটি কর্পোরেশনের যে ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ডটা দিয়েছেন, এবং আপনারা অনেকগুলো কাজ করছেন। আর সিটি কর্পোরেশন যদি যেভাবে এগিয়ে আসছে, স্পেশালি আমরা দেখছি নারায়ণগঞ্জ সিটি কর্পোরেশন, তাহলে অনেকগুলো পাইলট প্রজেক্ট আমরা করতে পারবো এবং হয়ে যাচ্ছে। স্পেশালি ওই ডিগনিফাইড লাইফ অফ দ্য ওয়ার্কার্স, এটা নিয়েও অনেক কাজ হচ্ছে অনেক জায়গায়। তাদের থাকার জায়গাগুলো, বাসস্থান এবং আধুনিকায়ন করা, সেগুলো আপনারা অনেক অ্যাক্টিভিটিস নিচ্ছেন। অনেক ধন্যবাদ আপনাকে এবং এই তথ্যগুলো শেয়ার করার জন্য। আমি 1 মিনিট সময় চাচ্ছি একটু আপনাদের কাছ থেকে। আমরা একটা ছবি তুলতে চাচ্ছি, সেখানে যদি আপনারা সবাই যদি আপনারা ভিডিওতে চলে আসেন, তাহলে আমরা একটা গ্রুপ ছবি তুলতে পারবো। সো I request all of you to come over video so that we can take a group photograph. All of you, please. If I could see all of you in the video, please. I can't see Jia and Tamir. Please come over video so that we can take a photograph. Can we? Yes, Ozia, and then yes, can I see Farah and Farah? Yes. So I would like to see all of you in the video, please. Sumaya, can you go ahead? ছবি কি তোলা হয়েছে সুমাইয়া?
জি স্যার, ছবি তোলা হয়েছে স্যার।
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, all of you. Now we are almost 12:30, 32, 33, almost nearer to the completion of today's webinar. Now I have got a couple of minutes before we wind up of today's webinar. Well, it has been an excellent experience. In fact, I did have to start with, although I have been involved with this plastic waste pollution management issues and environment and development issues for so many decades, especially with the Ministry of Environment and Forest. I was for more than a decade. I worked there. So this is very much, you should call me my cup of tea as well. So, but I'm really amazed to see so many organizations are doing so many things, and we are not aware of. We came to know of the Professor Izaz. He came up with all the exercise, all the solutions. We came with the Farah Mahbub of CordAid, and they are doing a great job. They are doing a great job in a good number of projects also they have undertaken, Farah. We also came to know Sohana Mazabin. the BRAC experience, what BRAC is doing in case of this waste pollution management of the solid waste, especially raising awareness. Then Ernest and Young, Ibrahim Ridwan. So he also showed some of the activities Ernest and Young, Bangladesh has undertaken. And practical action, Bangladesh, Hamid Hussein, and their activities related to awareness raising and dignified life. Finally, we had this Department of Environment and Mr. Jiaul Haq. He came up with all the rules and regulations coming up, and especially, we have been invited to visit Department of Environment on 2nd, 6th, 7th, and 8th of June, related to World Environment Day. Perhaps some of us may make some time and visit what are the activities over there. Especially, I'm pretty sure some of the organizations will be having their stalls over there. Now, in conclusion, I would like to propose just a couple of points. One is that, to start with, can we have a sort of a network of all these organizations? Perhaps there is one or there is many, I don't know. But if there is none, perhaps we can have a network of all these organizations who are involved with the management of the plastic waste, because so many things are not known to all of us. So there could be a club or network, whatever way, online network we could have. And Professor Izaz might be able to help us in that case. And that network should be followed by some field visits. This is extremely important, especially we have seen so much of projects coming up, So field visits are extremely important. I'm pretty sure, we all would be very happy to receive the network people in our field and showcase what we are doing in the field. To start with Sumaya, Isar Asia, would be very happy. So that's something I would like to propose. So before I conclude, is there anybody would like to take the floor for a moment or so? If not, then I will say goodbye. Okay. Fine. Oh, sure. There are a good number of, messages here. Thanks, Mr. Ashit Barman, and then, and request Mr. Asia to invite all the participants. Good. So those are the things to be done. I hope so. And I would,
Sir,
yes, Jia, go ahead.
One point that with regards to the World Environment Day seminar, I will send out the invitation to SR Asia, and I would request SR Asia to circulate the invitation to all participants that we are having today. So SR Asia can take the responsibility and take the trouble to send out our invitation. Thank you, sir.
Good. Sumaya, can we do that? Sumaya?
Yes, sir, sure. We'll be honored to have this invitation and circulate it to all the partners.
Sumaya will be pleased to do that. Yes, sure. So that will be done. And also, I believe, Sumaya, some point we will have some proceedings on this workshop. So that the proceedings will be prepared on this webinar, and we'll be sharing the proceedings to all of you. And again, I remind you, if it's possible, there may be a volunteer coming up who can undertake this, establish a network among all of us, so that we can communicate each other's, view each other's success story, and then visit some of these projects. So with these comments, I like to thank all of you. I have already, just more than 10-15 minutes by now, more, but it has been very useful information for all of us. And when we see the proceedings, that might be of some help, so that we can come to know who is doing what. Thank you so much, all of you, and goodbye to all of you, and see you sometime again. Khuda Hafiz.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
sir.
much, sir. Thank you so
Allah,
much.
Allah.
Thank you.